Hey guys, um, this video is gonna be based on my presentation. I've been working on it for quite some time now. Yeah, my work has been based mostly on procrastination throughout this semester, but I felt like I fought my way through it, and yeah. So to begin with, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Jeniko Kongolu. Most people refer to me by my first name, which is Jeniko. And I've also come up with a script for my presentation. Being a part of this class has been a great impact on my development and has contributed greatly to the way I see things. My perspective about things has changed in a way I never thought it would. And this class has boosted confidence in myself. This class has not only been a positive environment for me, not only do I feel comfortable and welcomed, but I see this class as a family. I have come to know some of you on campus, and some of you are now a part of my life, even off campus. I really appreciate being among each and every one of you in this class. So I say thank you. For me to come up with a topic to present has been really hard for me. It took me days because I would see people coming up with great topics. Some are talking about death, some are talking about dreams, and some are talking about life experiences. But I was wondering, like, yo, what am I going to be presenting about? I finally decided that since this class has been a huge development for me, I came up with the topic self growth. I decided to present in a video form because I felt like standing in front of people reading, I'm pretty sure no one is going to get anything. So what made me come up with the idea of a video is because I am beginning to understand myself, to know myself. So my first point is going to be based on metacognition. I am going to be talking about self-growth based on my personal experience. I believe experience is the greatest teacher, and that's how I learn best. Under the topic of self-growth, I'll talk about other topics like I mentioned earlier, metacognition, and how one can understand themselves, how to understand one's self. I will talk about showing up. I will also talk about vulnerability. I will talk a little about beliefs and dreams and environmental forces versus identity, such as what we are born with. I am someone who is hardworking and stand their ground no matter what and stick to the truth. I am someone who is not lazy about anything. When I start a project, I make sure that I come to an end of it. No matter how long it takes, no matter how late I am, I make sure that I do it. I make sure that I do it. I am someone who learns a lot from other people. I appreciate being among, surrounding myself with different type of people because I believe that that's how human being learn. because we are product of society. I am going to be talking you guys a little about my background. Like most of you know that I'm not from this country, but I do like it being here though. Taking you back to my early years, I was born in West Africa, in the country Congo. Later on, my family moved to Zimbabwe, where I spent most of my life in. I'm, a, I'm someone who grew from a small community where I know people are always happy, but poverty really hits deep. Although it hits deep, people are always happy, despite going to bed with nothing in their stomach. I am not ashamed of where I'm from. That's what makes me who I am. Where I'm from is a beautiful place. Yet, like every kid, like every human being, we all want a bright future, which is why I came to the US. So, moving from the western part of Africa to the southern part of Africa, I've moved from culture to culture, where people have different food, where people like eat different, have different taste in music, listen to different type of music and different language completely. I basically can speak few languages that I'm not gonna mention about. And being part of the southern part of Africa, I've learned something called Ubuntu. This is a practice that they do in the southern part of Africa. It refers to oneness. Where I'm from, you don't find people dying with depression. No, people are happy. One's main achievement, it's for the whole society. No one fears discrimination for who they are. When I talk about self-growth, I don't mean development in terms of career and financial stability. I am also talking about spiritual and mentally stability, which is growth too. Yet many people that Yet many people think that if you are rich, it means that you you are financially wealthy. But I believe if you want to be wealthy, you have to be first rich in mind, and your spirit has to be rich as well. So self-development is really important in one's life. You should understand yourself. So most people do not understand their self. That's what triggers them to indulge into things that are not good for them. These days, you see people in relationship that are really toxic, and a lot is because they do not understand themselves. Often, it's fear of being alone, and that chain people into toxic relationship. People end up being imprisoned into their own mind, and it prevents them from freedom and exploration. One should not let their mind control them or cause them to fear being alone. I personally have no problem with being alone. I actually enjoy being alone. It does not mean I do not like being around people. I do. But I also like being by myself so that I can reflect on the true relationships I have and the goals I have. Reflect on yourself. Say, for instance, you're going to start a morning fitness routine. So you find yourself in the process of thinking about it. Then you start working towards it. And you finally going to the gym. That is self development. Society can put real pressure on us and our families too. We have to be able to separate our own values from that pressure because not everyone takes us as we are. Personally, in my family, I'm the eldest son. Obviously, everybody expects great things from you, expect you to lead by example, and you know, they need you to set an example for the ones behind you. And personally, you might feel that way, but you might ask yourself, is that what I really want? Is that what I really want? Is that what my world is about? At some point, I ask myself that. It's not that I do not love my family, but at some point, I'm like, do they really know me? And you see, that might not be your world. It's up to you to shape your own world so that you can fit in. If you try to fit in amongst people, trust me, you have to keep on trying and trying because society develops and changes. It moves like water. You you can't make yourself into a container for it. Society cannot fit in you. You cannot be a container. You cannot be water. Society is like water. You can be its container. I hope you understand me. You have to know your worth. You have to know where you stand. Do not try to compare yourself with other people. That what makes more of us stuck, comparing ourselves with other people. So why don't you reflect and see what you want in your life? Why don't we sit down and think about that? What do I really want in my life? Because you have to be decisive. You have to be decisive when it comes to your life. You are the pilot of your life. Life is like a graph. It's like a line graph, full of waves, going up and down. Sometimes you can win, sometimes you can lose. It's up to you to accept failure. It's not a weakness, it is part of the process. Personally, I am inspired by the actor Denzel Washington. I guess most people know who that is. He goes on and say, dreams are just dreams. without goals. They are just dreams. You have to act on your dreams. Some people just say that I want to do great without any action being taken towards it. You find a kid saying, or you find an adult saying, I want to be a pilot, or I want to build my own mansion whatsoever. Yeah, it is good to dream. Dreams are free, but you have to act on your dream so that it can come true. Most people, they are scared to take risks. Life is up to you to take chances. It is up to you to take chances. If you're scared of taking risks, it means you are scared of succeeding. Success can be a real fear to most of us. If you face your fears, you find people who give you advice that will build you. And some people give you advice that will really destroy you. But if you work to understand who you are, you will learn that some advice, some people you associate yourself with are not meant to be taken. I'm going to take you further on. So, I want to talk about community and worldviews. In my country of origin, we still believe in tribes and difference between tribes. I do know my tribes. It is called the Amber tribe. So as a part of the Amber tribe, we are not allowed to marry from a tribe called the Kasai tribe, because there have been generations fighting, between these tribes. But if a person you love yourself, you love is part of another tribe, the person you love is part of another tribe, you have to know who you are and what you desire. Go for it. You don't have to go with all the tribe things because you want to please the people and go against your tribe. If you have to go against your tribe so that you can find your love, go against it. Personally speaking, I wouldn't deal with a tribe. It's up to me. It's because I understand myself. I know what I want and what I don't. Let's say you see someone who is racist, right? That's who they are. You can honestly change so that you can fit in any society, or just so that people will applaud to you, because then you're not happy. You are not being honest with yourself. Self-development and self-growth start in your mind. It's not changing in your mind. You're just acting so that people can be impressed by you, so that you please the people. You cannot afford to do that. Change has to come from you, not from the people. Sometimes we have no choice but to choose who we are. We are actually born to be who we are. If one is born to be racist, or one is born in a racist situation, they remain racist. Those are the choices. They either pretend not to, or just be it. True change is something different. Yeah, you are right. There is a lot to talk about, a lot to share, but change has to start with you. Believe in yourself. As an ambitious boy growing up, I had a lot of dreams. My first dream was to be in the United States. I know to someone, it's just a place of birth. To some of us, it's a dream place. A place where we believe that everything is going to be okay. I have moved from one environment to another. To me personally, it is growing. What I'm asking you guys is don't give up on your dreams. One day, I told my coworkers how old I was, and one of them was like, "Yo, you are too young, and you are already traveling and exploring the world." And they say that was so cool, and I'm like, "You're right. It's all because I did not give up on my dreams. I did not rush into marriage and stuff. It's not that I don't want to, but it's because I stand my ground. I know what I'm after." Sometimes I find myself in an argument that I do not want to contribute to because it's a waste of time trying to convince someone who's not really understanding who you are, not sharing the same values. That argument will go on and on forever because some people just argue for the sake of argument. They don't argue for the sake of solution or understanding. They argue for the sake of winning an argument. But if you understand yourself, you rather choose not to. You can choose not to attack back. I'm someone who like conversation that is worth my communication. If something is not worth my communication, I do not get involved in it. It's not that I'm full of myself, it's because I understand who I am and I understand what I want. This class has been really helpful to me. It has been really helpful to me because it has given me some sort of push to reflect and to stand strong to my values, to be proud to say no to the things that I do not want. I'm still developing, you know, with the help of everyone. I really appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I'm beginning to understand myself better than I was when I first came to this community, to this class. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone for that. In the beginning of the semester, I was wondering why my task was to show up. I was asking myself, why is our assignment about showing up? That is really easy. Anyone can do that. I would just show up and just get the marks I need and then leave the class, and pass. But no, that was not what our professor meant by showing up. She was expecting and teaching everyone in class to be present physically, emotionally for themselves. Showing up that day was a game changer for me because I did not expect that much. I found myself doing new tasks such as meditation in front of a lot of people. Showing up might not be really important to some people, but to some of us, showing up makes who we are. That's what makes who we are, honestly. So, yeah, basically, that's all my presentation. And in summary, I'm just gonna say that I urge everyone to work towards themselves, not to fall under pressure. You know, it is good to have a social life. It is good to have a social life. Work towards yourself. Self growth is important in one's life. You can choose to be alone, yes, that's not a bad thing. But for you to be a human being, you need another human being to develop yourself. Work towards yourself. Thank you.